What I'm actually going to share with you today on our channel is actually going to blow your mind. It's actually going to shock you that this is actually happening in 2026 in Ghana, in the Volta region, in West Constituency. Yeah, it's actually going to shock you. Well, if it is your first time of visiting our channel, kindly hit on the subscription button and also turn on the post notification bell that whenever we upload new videos, you will be the first person to get an alert on your device. My name is Christopher Ebenezer. Today, we are going to talk about education. There has been a lot of negative things happening in Ghana when it comes to education, but then most politicians are failing to address these issues. What we're actually going to talk about today is not about to discredit any government, it's not about to make any government unpopular, but then these are some of the realities on the ground in Ghana. Well, the video I'm about to share with you was actually shared on Facebook by one Facebook user who goes by the name Mawena Morty. And this is the caption of the video. Every morning, students of Avetekpo in the West Constituency risk their lives by swimming through a stream, especially when it rains, just to get to school. Let's pause there. That is the most important aspect of what we're actually going to talk about today. And that is the video you're actually seeing on the screen of this younger one struggling, swimming through, walking through this stream just to get to school. Well, according to them, this is the condition and this is what these kids go through each and every time whenever it rains in this locality. But then before I would actually tackle this or talk more about this, there is a lot of there are a lot of questions on my mind I would actually want us to talk about or get answers for. I don't want to believe that when it is time for elections, they always send ballot boxes to some of these communities. If it is during the rainy season, how then do politicians transport these ballot boxes to these communities for them to vote? Well, I've been to some parts of the country, been to some schools, and I've seen some harsh conditions under which students or pupils go through before getting to schools each and every day. And there are a lot of communities in Ghana now in this 21st century era, in 2026, who also studies under trees in Ghana. There are a lot of schools in Ghana where when you get to some of these schools, kids studies in environment or in structures that are actually at the verge of collapsing. I've witnessed this in most of the communities or some of the communities that I've actually visited in Ghana. And this need not to be left here, or this is not something funny for us to just be talking about in this 21st century era. Most often when you want to talk about some of these issues, people, even the very individuals that are in some of these community, things that you are actually doing them a disservice or you're actually doing them something which is not helping them or honoring them, just because sometimes they feel there's their political party that is in power. So you don't have to, share some of these negative things online. But these are some of the realities on the ground. These are the things that are actually affecting education in Ghana. Whenever I come here and I talk about equal rights to education, and I always say there is nothing in Ghana known as equal right to education, people think I'm always lying or I always tell the lies. But then that is the reality. That is the sad truth that we are always failing to embrace in Ghana. Well, now let me share this with you from my community. It's actually been about 6 solid years now that they've been struggling to get teachers in the basic school level. For 6 solid years they've actually been struggling to get teachers. As of the time of recording this video, they have only two permanent teachers, one national service person, and the headmaster. So these are the people that they actually have in the school now. Two permanent teachers, one national service person, and the head teacher. So making it four, right? And so when you get to the school right now, kindergarten one, kindergarten two, they have to combine them. When you get to class one, they have to combine class one and class two, and it continues like that throughout. And this is the fundamental, this is the basic of education. And these children would be left this way. They have to struggle. As I'm speaking to you, or as at the time of recording this video, kids will actually be writing their BEC, that's the basic education certificate exams, very soon, which is written each and every year just to pave way for these kids to move to the next level of education in their life, that is the secondary school or a senior high school in Ghana. But kids in that community who are actually in JHS 3, who are preparing to go write the exams, some of them cannot even write their names. They cannot even spell their names. They cannot even read and write. But these students are actually going to sit for the BEC. How then are they going to pass their exams? But then somebody is going to be somewhere else and puts the blames on the teachers. The teachers are not the fault. They are not the ones doing the thing because the fundamental is very weak. The basic level is very weak. These children, some of them who are actually in Form 1 now, they are being forced to buy my first copy book, just to be practicing how to write. And usually, we all know that if you actually want to practice how to write, these things are actually done at the very lower level, which is the nursery, which is class one, class two, thereof, that you should be able to engage in kids to deal with how to read and write, and not in JHS 1, not in JHS 2, not in JHS 3. But these students would also be sitting and writing same exams with kids across the country when the time is due for them to assess them for the next stage of life in education. Our politicians must do better when it comes to education in Ghana. Our politicians have a lot of things to do when it comes to making sure that the accessibility, equal right to education is actually tackled and handled very well. Because not in this time and age and era that we must actually be seeing children going through this condition, this harsh condition, just to get to school. So how then do they, you know, survive? Like if it rains heavily, are they not going to get drawn? Are they not going to be drawn in these waters? It is just very sad to see these kids going through this condition in this 21st century era. Well, they're actually calling on philanthropics, they're actually calling on NGOs, they're actually calling on the government to come to their aid so that they can be able to help solve this problem before, if possible, they should be able to do this even before school resumes so that these kids will no longer have to be going through all these harsh conditions in this time, age, and era. You can also share your thoughts with us in the comment section. But then if this is your first time of visiting the channel, kindly hit on the subscription button and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on the post notification bell that whenever we upload the videos, you'll also be the first person to get an alert on your device. But if you have harsh conditions in your community and feel like you want to share, you can equally DM us, or you can equally share with us in the comment section. And I would love to come to your community to see this so that we can be able to make sure that we bring some of these things to the notice of the various politicians that are within your constituency, or your MPs, your MCs, your DCs, so that they make sure they tackle these issues and solve them, because our children actually deserve better. They need not to be going through these conditions to get education in this time, age, and era. So if you find it very interesting, you can also share this video with somebody. And until then, let them remain Ebenezer. This is how far I've brought you. Catch you in another one.